Hello and welcome to Aging Insights. I'm Kathy Rowe, Executive Director of New Jersey Advocates for Aging Well. And today we're in South Orange, New Jersey to learn about technology in the home that can help you stay safe and healthy. I'm joined today by Susan Nasberg-Abrams, the Program Manager for Life Home Tech. Susan, nice to have you with us today.
Great. Thank you so much for inviting me. Happy to be here.
Glad to have you. So tell us about yourself. What is your background and how did you get started with Life Home Tech?
Yeah, so JSDD, I work at JSDD, and I was actually hired 2 years ago when a little over 2 years ago when Life Home Tech started. And JSDD is an agency for adults with intellectual and developmental disabilities. We also have a day program at Dynamic Beautiful Wellness Arts Enrichment called the Way Center Day Program. We have a gallery at our space, and we have residential homes throughout Morris and Essex counties. In 2023, the JSDD received a grant from the federal government that helped us to start Life Home Tech. And that's when I was hired. So Life Home Tech was started to help people, originally for people with disabilities, to increase their independence, to help them reach their goals, to feel safer in their home, and all through the use of enabling technology. We have a demo home because a lot of our work is based on education. And we created this demo home, which showcases a lot of the technology and gives tours and explains what's possible for people and to enrich their lives. As we're giving some of the tours, we had a lot of people there who were there for their kids, right? Their kids had disabilities or their siblings had disabilities. And they were looking at the technology and said, hey, this would be great for my mom or my dad, or me, right? You should really think about working with older adults. And so we did. We went out, we actually were lucky enough to receive grants from Grata Fund for Older Adults, from Healthcare Foundation of New Jersey, from Inclusive Healthy Communities. And we were able to really hone in on older adults along with our disability community. And that's really expanded us because we could see how it could be beneficial to everybody.
That is terrific. And it's a great evolution, how you went from one and started getting into aging. And, when we say technology, it can really mean so many things, but your focus, you said, is on enabling technology. Can you tell us a little bit more about what that is? You talked about independence, but just tell us a little bit more.
Yeah, enabling technology is not a term that a lot of people know. That's why education is such a big piece of what we do. It really refers to the tools and supports which empower individuals to lead more independent, connected, and fulfilling lives. So it's not about replacing human support. It's both more about giving individuals more choice and control in their life and decreasing dependency on others, especially great for older adults who maybe had been able to do things and that they're not really able to do before. So enabling technology can bridge that gap. The tech, when we talk about enabling technology, is not just one specific thing. It can range from smart home systems, like a full home system, or sensors, and also really a lot of simple devices that don't require Wi-Fi. Just use a battery or plug it in, charge it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And you said that people who are actually, looking at the devices, looking at your program for their children with disabilities, notice this would work for my parents too. So why are these things so important to older adults and their families? And how can the enabling technology, how does that help people maintain their independence?
So, and as you know, there's over a quarter of adults in New Jersey are over 60, and so many of them want to age in place. Right. So what does that mean, right? They can do it independently, but maybe sometimes they do need a little extra assistance, and we can help them with these tools to be able to do that. We offer inexpensive solutions, so many people they're more accessible to people. It's also, we found that it's talking to the older adults, but also talking to their caregivers or their loved ones. How can they make sure that someone who is aging in place, make sure that they're safe, and that they're getting, so tech can help them do that. It's helping someone not just do something for someone, but also they can do something with or do something by themselves.
Well, I think that's important. It's an important distinction. So now tell us about, you've set up an apartment to show these devices and how it can be done. How did the apartment come about, and what do you have in it?
Yeah. So we really, because people just weren't sure what we were talking about, we really said, like, let's create a space to show everything. And the demo home is really just, it's a regular apartment. Actually, we're renting a regular apartment, and we have tech in every room to show that it's really spans your entire day, or actually even when you're sleeping, right? From morning to night, there is something that people are struggling with, and how is it that we can help them? It's been really one of my missions over the last 2 years to find tools that are accessible so that people can afford them, and also that they're not overwhelming, because if they are too confusing devices to use, they're just not going to be used, right?
Yeah,
so we have a lot of things here that that will really show that. And a lot of the things actually are things you might already see going around, but we take a look at it in a different way. So I'm going to give you an example. A lot of people have door locks, right? That you have a door lock with the key, but now there's a new door lock that people use that you can put a code in. I know my neighbor has one of these so that their kids, when they come home from school, don't have to remember the key, right? They just put it in. There are also biometric door locks where you don't even need to remember the code. You just have a finger touch or, to open the door.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So we have these great solutions. Someone can help with help with memory concerns because they don't have to remember something, dexterity concerns. You can put it on your door. A lot of people have this. But let's just take it, one step further for an older adult. You also have, if you're not home, a plumber's coming to your house, an electrician's coming to your house, you can program the code for only short term. So that way the plumber can come and the code, it won't be used anymore. It's also nice, we've seen caregivers or loved ones who don't live in the home have the app on their phone so they can, control the code for when they're not home. If there's an emergency, they can easily open the door for someone to be able to check or to help them. And then also you can see when the person returns at night with their permission, right? I wouldn't say, right? But you can see if the door has been opened in the morning, if the door has been closed. So you can know really what's happening, and just it's an extra security and peace of mind to know what's happening with someone. And I hear that, older adults appreciate that extra just check-in for support too. It's really a common thing.
So it's a way to check in and support and be on the alert for a problem without interfering with their lives or being a nuisance or worrying. And it sounds like that can not just benefit the older adult, but also their family. There's less stress, less worry.
Right.
And I love the ability to open the door remotely that's something that could be good for any of us.
For anybody, right? If anybody forgets something or somebody just needs to stop in, a neighbor, you want a neighbor to come by, they know they can open the door. And you have the app, and it's a very simple solution. Yeah.
So when you talk to people, what are the challenges that you see most often with older adults and some of the safety concerns?
So when we first started our Life Home Tech, when we first started going in working with older adults, we wanted to do a lot of research to make sure we felt comfortable. We did surveys, we talked to a lot of people, and we did a lot of research just of other surveys. We found that there's 3 major things that people are concerned about. The first is falling. Every year, 1 in 4 adults fall, and falling is 25% of all hospital admissions are because of falling. So we know that it's a concern for a lot of people. Memory concerns, and by memory concerns, that could be normal because of normal aging, or it could be dementia, early stages, all different stages of dementia. We also spoke to a lot of people who are concerned in the kitchen. They want to be able to cook, but they accidentally leave the stove on. In New Jersey, 60% of stoves are gas stoves. Most of the rest are electric stoves. When those are left on, they're really high risk of fire. So what are the things we looked into? That's 3 of the biggest things we were looking into for what solutions, how can we solve some of those concerns?
So can you walk us through some specific examples for this?
So when we talk about falling, there's a lot of different devices you can use. A lot of people have the devices that you wear around your neck, or even Apple Watches have great fall detection. Just make sure that you have a system for charging that device, because they can, the battery can wear out pretty quickly. One recommendation is to have it charged when you're sitting watching TV or sitting reading a book or sitting eating dinner, and it's charging, and then just make sure to re-put it back on when you get up. A lot of falls happen at night because it's dark. You don't really want to turn on the light because you're like, that'll wake me up more. But that's when, you go into the bathroom and there's a lot of hard edges in the bathroom. You really don't want to fall. A recommendation is motion sensors lights. Very inexpensive. You put them on your path from the bed to the bathroom. It automatically turns on. I recommend they're using a amber or a yellow colored light so that it doesn't really impact your circadian rhythm as much. But it could still wake you up. It could still be enough of a light to go to the bathroom and return easy. Another example is a water sensor. So that's a little device that when it gets wet on the top or the bottom, it will send out a loud alert. You can also have it actually hooked up to your phone if you're using the Wi-Fi version, so that you get a notification if you're not home. But I like to put the water sensors, especially in the bathroom, because there's a lot of water, right? Water can splash out of the sink, out of the tub, out of the shower. Then when you step on the floor, it's wet, it's slippery. Not good. So if you have this alert that what sends out a loud beeping sound when you're getting out, to be extra careful.
And we have a sample of that to show you right here. Okay, so it's preventive. Prevent the fall.
Prevent the fall, right. Yeah, there's motion sensor lights and the water sensors to prevent the fall, right. Which is really what you want before you even need the fall detection. There's another way to prevent a fall, and that's if you have a caregiver or a loved one who's living in the house with you. There's a chair pad. There's this pad, a special pad that you put on wherever you're sitting, mostly. Then when you get up, there's it's like a remote control that will receive a loud alert, a beeping sound. So that for a person doesn't have to, like your wife or spouse doesn't have to be in the same room as you, because right. They can hear when you're getting up automatically, right. And they can come and help you. There's also these chair pads can also be put on the bed, right? If so, that way somebody knows if somebody is getting up out of bed, and then somebody else, then, whoever they're helping is there to help them can come and help them.
And Susan, is there any technology that can help with if you have memory concerns for someone?
Oh yeah, there's a lot. There's really something simple. On your phone, my mother actually has it programmed that every time she needs to take her medicine, right, she gets an alert. So she knows every time, right? Simple on your phone. There's also the Amazon Echo Show, which is a great device. It's a little screen, and it helps. You can talk to it. You can ask it things. You can program it very easily also by just telling it, hey, I don't want to say the word, right? Just tell me when I have a doctor's appointment at 4:00 today, and then you can ask it, hey, when is my doctor's appointment? And it could remind you to tell you. You could even program it, an hour before the doctor's appointment for it to say to you, hey, you have a doctor's appointment, start getting ready.
And I think the great thing is, like when I go to visit my mother, I could set this up days, weeks in advance to program the schedule for the reminder. So it's not something you have to do yourself. It's something that somebody else can do it for you. And then you just learn how to use it and get the benefit of it.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And actually, if you're not living in the home, you can even add the app on your phone, so you can schedule it remotely. You don't even have to speak to it to program it.
Wow.
I also love the Echo Show for just asking it questions. Like, I think we have an example of somebody asking, when is the post office closing? Or what time, is the library open tomorrow? And then just even like factual questions that you always kind of remember, or you forget, or recipes. You can ask it recipes to have. So if you don't remember all the ingredients, then you can just ask it the questions. It can tell you.
It's interesting. Like so many homes now have an Echo or a Google or something, but I, for one, didn't think of that as something to help older adults with their memory care. I mean, we have them. These are common now, but they can be used for all ages and for a wide variety of things. So that's a great, inexpensive suggestion that
Yeah.
Anybody can set up.
That's what I love about some of these tools. They're in your house, but how can you use them for
Yeah.
optimal use?
How to use them better and differently.
Better, yeah. Then for more progressive memory loss, there's also sensors you could put on the doors that can alert someone who's in the home or not in the home if someone has left the house, or if they've returned. There's also, you could put the sensor on the refrigerator. Has someone opened the refrigerator and eaten today? Or if the refrigerator been opened and closed many times, right? Just wherever you want it to be on the medicine cabinet, has it been opened or not? So it's just reminders that for people if someone is aging in place on their own, just for that extra support.
So, Susan, what about the kitchen area?
Yeah, we have a lot of people have told us that they accidentally leave their stove on. And actually a lot of people say they go to their parents' house and the stove has been left on. A great solution is the induction stove, which use electromagnetics to actually heat up. It's so much of a safer option because it only heats up where the pot or the pan is on the stove, which means that if you touch something not where the pot or pan is, you won't get burned because it won't get hot. If you take off the stove and if you take off the pot and you forgot to turn it off, it will automatically turn off the second you take the pot off because it uses that connection. You can buy these in big regular stoves, but you can also buy little cooktops, not very expensive at all, to just use as a supplement instead.
What to me is so fascinating about that is that's also something that's really safe if you have small children in the home. I mean, what we always say, what works for older adults works for everyone. This can be, this isn't an either or. These are good tips that make it safer for everybody at all ages.
Oh, for sure. Yes. I mean, it's also they came up with all that research that the gas is really not good for you to be breathing in. So it's safer on that regard as well. If someone have a piece of paper falls or a dish towel falls on it, it won't burn because there's just not that connection.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I love that. I actually love the induction cooktop, that little extra device. If someone is cooking with you, right, you have your grandchild cooking with you, but you don't really want them on your regular stove, they can come and you can help them. You can guide them to push the buttons, and they can cook the pasta or they can stir fry the vegetables while you're cooking the rest of the meal.
Wow. And you have some very smaller devices in the kitchen, like can openers and jar openers.
Yeah, so I love this example. When we first were moving into this demo home location, it's a regular apartment building. We were packing out, we had all of our stuff in the hallway, and a woman came over to me and said, "Hey, I would like to make tuna for lunch today, but I can't open the can." And I was like, "Okay, do I have something for you?" And we do have automatic cans and jar openers, because, if you don't have the dexterity, you can't make your lunch. You can't eat what you want to be eating. And it's really just using a button to be able to open what you want. Simple devices like that.
Wow. I need one of those.
Yeah, I want one too.
So, I know that a challenge is that sometimes with dementia, people lose their ability to use technology that they're familiar with. Maybe they were like a TV remote or their smartphone or something. So are there other or simpler devices that can help them manage when they can no longer use the old method?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, that TV remote, there is a very basic TV remote that someone can pre-program just 5 buttons, or it can just go up and down. Right. And so you don't have the remotes nowadays have just so many buttons. So something like that is very simple. There's also a basic clock that can just show the time of the day, but also really it shows, is it the morning or is it the afternoon? What day of the week is it? Just a really very simple device to get that information. Also,
and you never have to set that clock.
Yeah, if you get a good one. Yeah, you never have to. On phones, now smartphones and iPads nowadays, there are so many free assistive apps that I really encourage people to just explore those. One of my favorites is the Assistive Access. That's right now on the Apple devices. So it's on an Apple iPad or an iPhone, where someone else can schedule it to only show the apps that you want. So if someone only is going to use it for FaceTiming their grandkids or their, friends, they can just have the button they push, you can have the contacts, and they can just call them with that a few easy buttons rather than showing so many different things. What I also like about it is that if you can reprogram just the people who you want to call, that means they can only also call you, which means that you're much less likely to be scammed, right? If there's strangers calling you, you're not going to get that calls from other people. And you can also have it be, calling, and have it be YouTube, so they can explore on YouTube. And that's it. Whatever you want, you could really customize it to be flexible.
Oh, that is terrific. Mm-hmm. Now, with all of this, have you found resistance among older adults using technology? Or how do you navigate what the family wants? They might be very high tech and new. Mm-hmm. If they're into the newest technology and their parents or grandparents are not into it. How do you navigate through that?
Oh, for sure. Because we've gone and spoken to a lot of older adult groups, and we say we're here to talk about technology, and automatically people are shut down, not interested, don't want to talk about it. No, thank you. But of course, as you know, older adults are a diverse group, and some of them are really excited when we come to talk about technology. So I'm not going to say that it's a blanket statement. It's, here or there. But for those people who are not interested, we realize that it's not about the traditional technology. We don't talk about anything on your computer. Cell phones, maybe just really these apps that can assist you. It's really about education. That's why the demo home is there. That's why we do presentations and talks. And we have conversations with a lot of people. And it's really explaining to caregivers or children or family members what's available, and to really start in that way. Like, hey, what is the solution that you would like help with? How is there something you're struggling with? Let's not even talk about the technology. Let's talk about what is something that we can use. What's the tool? What's the device that can be used? Which is also why we really make sure that things are very user-friendly. Because again, they're just not going to be used if they're too overwhelmed by it.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. So is there anything else that we didn't cover that you want to share with people about your program?
Yeah. So, I just covered it a little bit, but our secret is that it's not about the technology. We actually, we go out there, we show technology, but we really, that's not, the technology is the tools, right? The tools to help someone live their best life. Yeah. To be able to do something that they couldn't do before, or that they want to be able to do independently. Some of these tools can be life-changing, and some of them are just small in your everyday life, but it still matters.
Yeah, it does. It does. Mm-hmm. It does for the quality of life, and especially for independence. Mm-hmm. And I think just the peace of mind for family members, caregivers, and even the someone living alone, just to know that there's a backup, there's a way to help. So if people wanted to see the demo apartment, how can they do that?
Yeah, so you can just reach out to me, lifehometech@jsdd.org, or you could look on our website for more information, lifehometech.org. We do demo tours, we do consultations with older adults and caregivers, but we also do presentations and classes. We can come to older adult community groups, caregiver groups, healthcare organizations, and we do some pop-up tours because not everybody could get to South Orange, where we can bring some of the technology to you and really showcase all of and have showcase what we have and have conversations about what is possible for people.
Yeah. And for people who can't get in person, where should they start looking? Is this stuff that you can find in the store in Home Depot and Amazon? Where can they find things?
Oh, yes, and yes. That's part of my mission, has been to see what you can just buy online, and what can come to you. Because again, if you're going to have to shop, if you're going to have to look too intently, if it's going to be too hidden, then you're not going to get it. Right. So all of these devices, or many of the devices, you can just easily purchase online and just set up yourself with in an easy way.
Well, Thank you so much for joining us today and for this great apartment you've set up and all the examples you gave us. I know there were even more, but we just couldn't fit them all in. And we're going to have your website up here so people can find more.
Great.
So thank you for joining us for this episode of Aging Insights. You can see past episodes and recordings on our website at www.njaaw.org. You can also see recordings of events and webinars under past events.